Hi there, it's Ernest from Trip Astute. As many of you know, I spent the holidays in the UK, so in this video I'll be sharing the top things that I noticed as an American when traveling to England. England is a beautiful place to visit, and for American travelers, fairly easy given the language and lack of visa requirements. I actually visited in December 2017. Since Fiona's family lives just outside of London, we decided to spend the holidays there and also take a couple of side trips to Barcelona, Lisbon, and Bath. I decided while I was there that I didn't want to do a traditional destination review on London, simply because there's so much to show and there are already so many great destination reviews and channels on the subject. So I decided to focus on things that I noticed as an American. In fact, since Fiona is a Brit, I'm always surprised at what she finds unique and different when we're in LA. So this is a summary of things that were surprising to me as an American traveler. Number 1, traffic flows. Like a handful of other countries, Brits drive on the left side of the road. This was especially disorienting when I first arrived. I also kept looking for traffic on the wrong side when crossing the road. Parking is also less structured than in the US. You can park on either side of the road, even if you're facing the wrong side of traffic. Lastly, I thought the traffic lights were really cool. The Brits use the yellow or amber light to not only signal when the light is turning from green to red, but also from red to green. Number 2, plastic notes. I was surprised on my last trip that certain cash bills were now plastic. While Brits use a lot of coins, which we're definitely not accustomed to in the US, I found the plastic money to be pretty awesome. I definitely would love to see the US adopt the plastic notes like so many other countries. Number 3, gigantic plugs. The plugs in the UK are different than the rest of Europe, and they are huge. Seriously, the plugs are gigantic compared to what we're used to in the US. Also, each outlet has an individual switch, so don't forget to turn on the switch and make sure that you have power before charging up your phone at night. Number 4, interesting foods. It was really fun being in the UK for the holidays. The Brits have some really interesting foods like mince pies, Christmas pudding, and Scotch eggs. What's interesting is that they are not often what they are named. For example, mince pies have something called mince meat, but don't actually contain meat. Christmas pudding is not really what we Americans would call a pudding, and Scotch eggs are, well, those are eggs, but they're surrounded by meat, but I don't think they have anything to do with Scotch. Also, there's a whole host of other foods that just have weird names and, to an American, maybe slightly inappropriate. Number 5, gas stations. Not only is gas, or petrol as the Brits call it, really expensive, but I found that they use the green handle to represent regular unleaded gas. In the US, we typically use the green handles to designate diesel. So if you're filling up your tank in the UK, make sure you read the labels carefully at the pump. Number 6, mobile payments everywhere. I was shocked at how prevalent mobile payments were in the UK. I would say that 90% of transactions could be made with Apple Pay, which was super convenient since I didn't have to deal with the whole chip and signature process. Since most of the world is using chip and PIN, signatures are typically not required when paying for products, unless you're using an American credit card, since most of our cards don't support the technology. Though using mobile payments allowed me to pay without any complications. Also, it worked on the London Tube, which was a nice bonus. Number 7, military time is commonplace. While we typically don't use military time in the US, you'll notice that most Brits will use it in their daily lives. I noticed that Fiona's phone in the US was set up with military time, but when I saw that most other phones in the UK used it too, I realized it was a normal thing. Number 8, tuna and corn sandwiches. Okay, so I love both of these things, but I never thought of putting them together. When we stopped at a Mark and Spencer's market to pick up a quick lunch, I noticed they had a bunch of unique seafood options, like tuna and corn, prawn, and salmon sandwiches. I opted for the tuna and corn, and I have to say, it was delicious. Number 9, tons of accents and dialects. Great Britain is just over half the size of California, but even within such a small country, there is such a variety of dialects and accents. I personally found the accents from Scotland and Wales to be the most difficult to understand as an American, but even some of the northern accents were challenging. Still, I think it's so interesting that a country so small can retain so much variation in the language. And those are the top things that I noticed as an American in England. There's actually a lot of other things like the different terminology and phrases used, but we'll have to save that for another video. Have you been to the UK? If so, what differences did you notice? I'm also curious to hear from Brits who have visited the United States. I'm sure there are a ton of things that we do that must be completely nuts to those outside the US. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Also, check out our website and sign up for our newsletter for travel articles, updates, and giveaways. Until next time, travel safe and travel smart.